US dollar and commodities, what will happen this year? Torsten, welcome again, and let's talk about US dollar and commodities, of course. So what's going on here in the long-term picture? Is it a friend or is it a foe, as you wrote it?
Yeah, thank you, Jochen. On the commodity side, US dollar is one of the most important influence factors, of course, next to the economy. And a stronger dollar normally is bad for commodity prices, as lots of commodities are priced in US dollars. So therefore, when you anticipate a stronger dollar, therefore is bad news on commodity long investors. Therefore, on the longer side, what you see here, friend or foe, good question. Euro dollar approaching probably parity. Trade-weighted dollar also very strong, broke to its new highs even last year. Mm-hmm. There's a potential for like a 10-15% appreciation on that one. So therefore, this is becoming a negative scenario for commodities on this short term.
Mm-hmm. But as I see, you have two arrows here, up and down. So what is the expectation there?
Because there's not only consensus, because there's also reality.
Yeah.
So lots of market participants now are thinking US dollar is going to parity with the euro. So therefore, lots of negative things happening in the Eurozone. You see Italy in the moment on the banking side, but also France election, an autumn election in Germany as well. Yeah. So therefore, lots of potential things weakening for the euro and making the dollar great again, as new President Trump says. So therefore, this is consensus, but as we both know, things can happen differently, and the cycle is close to a finish, what you see in the picture.
Okay, good. So now we have talked about US dollar, but what happens to the other, you call it commodity producer currencies? And what do you see there?
And this is probably one of the first signs, as US dollar strength on the one side to the big currencies, trade-weighted dollar, but on the commodity producer currencies, big commodity producers, Russia, for example, on the oil side, South Africa on the PGMs, gold, but also Norway on the crown side. We all seen like a peak last year in terms of valuation, so this was the maximum weakness. So therefore, giving some headwind here from a currency side. So therefore, we see this trend now reverting, that commodity producer currencies are coming back from their lows, giving some support on this side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what would you prefer from the currency side?
On the currency side, yeah? I mean, for us, as currencies is one of the cost factors for commodity producing, but also in terms of carry, it can be very interesting on the commodity side. Instead of buying a negative contango trade on the crude oil side, diverse into ruble, for example, on the bond side, because here you have a positive carry, and both it's the same trade, it's oil long.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And you say the inverse correlation is easing. Why is that?
What you see here in the picture is the longer term side about Bloomberg Commodity Index and US dollar. Mm-hmm. And normally you have a strong correlation in terms of commodity prices going weak when the dollar gains strength. And we've seen in the last 3 months that this correlation eased a bit. So therefore the dollar still got strength, got to 105, to the euro 103, 102 almost, targeting the parity, but commodity prices start rising. And this is a good news from a fundamental side, so it shows like an inner strength of the commodity markets, and you can just imagine what happens when the US dollar to the euro starts to climb to 110 to 115. So therefore that's easily that we see like 10 to 15% on commodity markets on that news.
Well, that's good. So positive news then, hopefully, for the commodities, right?
For 2017.
Perfect. Great. Then, Torsten, thank you very much for that insight, and I'm pretty sure we do an update in the summer then.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Torsten Dennin, the Chief Strategist of Tiberius from Zug. And yeah, you heard it. Interesting times. We are not sure about the US dollar, where it is moving, depending on the Eurozone, depending what Trump is doing in the next months. That's something we cannot track by now. But interesting are the producer currencies like the krona, like a ruble, for example, and also the South African rand. So check it out. I'm your host, Jochen Steiger, Commodity TV in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Geneva.